So I'm going to show you today how Nearpod could be something that you can use in your classroom for to meet the needs of your individual students, and also be used to create engagement with your students. So I use Nearpod in my classroom every day. I love Nearpod. I use it for every subject area. As you can see, I've created quite a few lessons. So I'm going to show you how you can add different activities, how you can duplicate a Nearpod and make changes to it to meet the needs of your individual students. So, for example, if you were going to meet the needs of your individual students, you can always come in and go up here to the three dots. If you hit the three dots, you can duplicate a Nearpod and it'll make a copy of the whole entire Nearpod that you've already created. And then you just need to go in and you can change the activities that are in the Nearpod for your students. You can add additional activities. And this is what I enjoy going in looking. If you go over here to quizzes and games, my students love time to climbs. So you can go into time to climb. You can look to see if they've already have one created on the topic that you are actually um, teaching at that time. So you can look it up. You can type in, let's say, if I was looking for text evidence, here's one that it tells you what grade is for. So let's look for rounding. I'm just going to type in rounding. And these are all the, so rounding to the nearest 10. I teach fourth grade, so I'm going to pick this time to climb and add it. It's going to show you the questions. If you want to edit any of the questions, you can go through and edit those questions. If you like the way that it is, so you're going to minimize this, make it smaller. And then you can go through, scroll through and look at all of the questions and see if there's any changes you want to make. If you want to add more questions, if you don't think that 8 questions are enough, you can hit add questions, but you don't have to start from scratch. You can already use the already created resources in Nearpod. And then you're just going to hit save and it adds the time to climb to your Nearpod. You can also, another activity that I like to look for, and a lot of these are already created as well, is going to quiz and games. And they have this new activity called drag and drop. And my fourth grade students love the drag and drop activity. It creates engagement because the students are actually having to make that hand eye activity. They have to actually drag it. So if you come over here, you can do the same thing that you did for the time to climb. You can search for rounding or whatever topic that you're working on at that time. So I have rounding whole numbers. I'm going to click on rounding whole numbers. And then it's going to show me the activity. Again, minimize so that that goes away. You can look at the activity and see if you need to make any edits to it to meet the needs of your students. If not, if it looks okay, then you're just going to hit save, and then it automatically adds the activity to your Nearpod. And then, of course, you can move around the activities. Like if I would like this activity towards the beginning as the students are starting, if I want that as an opener for them, or if I want it as an exit ticket, I can move it to the end. Another great idea to use is to go to where it says quizzes and games. A lot of people don't realize that if you go and you make a quiz, so if I type in quiz and I go in and I want to make a quiz, I'm going to type in a few questions real quick. Let's see. All right, so let's say rounding to the nearest 10, 98. Oh, rounding to the nearest 10. And then I'm going to put, say, let's do 77. Okay, and then I'm going to put in a couple of answer choices 10, 12, and uh, 80. All right, and then you got to pick a correct one. All right, and then I'm going to hit save. This quiz, I can make it into a time to climb now. So I made the quiz. So I come up here. So I'm going to show you how you just take the quiz. And then you are going to go up here to the top and it says convert to time to climb. And then this is what I like to do. It's going to tell you that reference media, pictures and stuff might not transfer to the time to climb. You're gonna hit yes or no if you understand that, and then you're gonna hit do you want to keep a copy of the original slide. I say yes because this is what I like to do. I like to use the time to climb as a review. So I put the time to climb a couple of slides before the quiz. This is like a review before they get to the quiz. So, and then I can also, like I said, go back into the time to climb and edit it a little bit, change the questions a little bit, but I don't have to start from scratch, which is a great tool to be able to use. All right, I'm going to show you something else that you can do. So, I love using Nearpods as a review. So here I made duplicate copies. One I send home with my students, one I use in my classroom, but I only really have to create one Nearpod. So I create the one Nearpod, and then I can go in and change it so that my students actually can have videos and things like that to be able to access it from home. So if they are struggling, they'll be able to still practice the skills at home. So I'm going to show you how you can add videos to it. So here I've added a math video from our curriculum, Big Ideas. So to add a video, you just need to come to add content, and then you are going to go to um I'm gonna go to my recent because sorry, most popular is you can add a video. If you add a video this way, it's going to add a video in where you can input questions throughout the video. So it depends on what type of video you want to put in. Do you want to put a video in that just shows the students how to do the math problem, and that when they get done watching it, you can have problems at the end for them to actually practice, or do you want to include questions throughout? I sometimes like to include questions throughout. So I click on video here, and then you can either, and you hit add, and then it's going to come up with, um, just a second. So I can look for a video on YouTube. I can put a video myself that I've recorded. I can even upload a video. So let's say I want to do a video on rounding. I'm going to look for a video on rounding. I can pick a video, any of these videos, and I can go in. I'm going to add that. I'm going to hit save. And then that video is going to now be saved to my account. Now I can come in, I can hit play, and I can add activities in and I can, like, you can fast forward, you can add an activity, and you can add an open-ended question or a multiple choice question. So this is a great tool to use if you want your students to be practicing questions as they are going through the video. So Nearpod, as you can tell, is a wonderful resource, and I just stopped and talked about few of the areas that you can use Nearpod, but there are quite a few other tools that I have not went over, and we will go over them later. Have a great evening.